We're moving on to the leg, and we're going to do the leg in 2 videos. So we're going to do the upper leg, and we're going to do the anterior portion, and then we're going to do the posterior leg and the lower leg together. So to start off with, we don't have any more review. These are all new, haven't seen them before. And we're going to get 2, 4, 6, 8 muscles, and in black here, hopefully you recognize that this is the patella. Kneecap, so I guess in a sense that's review. But one of the things you'll be missing if you do the video and you're not in class is we will use the software where you can go in, it's Human Biodigital, and you can remove the muscles layer by layer. So for example, there's a muscle that lies right underneath this orange one that we can't see. You can see it on Human Biodigital. So you guys have that website. You might want to go in and look at some of those things if you're watching this outside of class. To kind of comment, if you take a leg, so if we took an upper leg and we did a cross section, let's see if I can do a circle here. Oops, I'm gonna drag this down a little bit. So here's my cross section, and this is anterior. This is posterior. This is medial, and this is lateral. Most of the muscles that cause lateral movement are high up on the hip. So if this was mid-thigh, you really don't see these much. But what would happen is you would see compartments. Might see a small compartment here. And what you would have in this compartment would be your quads. What you would have in this compartment would be your hamstrings. These would be your adductors. And then these would be your abductors. And if we were high up on the hip, this would be a bigger portion. The abductors are higher up on the hip. And so we're going to go through, when we talk about function, so the quads in the front flex the leg, the hamstrings in the back extend, the adductors adduct, and lateral here we have abductors. And so our function is going to just pretty much be flex, extend, abduct, adduct. So our functions are going to be really simple. So primarily what we're doing here is we are just focusing on learning them what the muscles are. So obviously quad means 4. You're going to have 4 of these. So there's 4 quads. Hamstrings, we have 3. We're going to learn the adductors as a group. The abductors, we're going to have 2. And then we have one that's kind of a little bit got its own category here, this one that goes crosswise. All right, I'm going to slide back up to get that yellow block. Get our title in there. All right, so let's start off with the abductors. In yellow is our first muscle, and if you need to pause the video, color codes, we've got yellow, pink, purple, blue, orange, green, red. Okay, so hopefully you have that all color coded. Welcome back. So we're going to start off at the front of the leg. We only have one small abductor. The bigger abductor is going to be over here when we do the posterior, and that's your gluteus maximus. But over here, this muscle in yellow is called your tensor, T-E-N-S-O-R, fascia latae. And this is an abductor. So it pulls the leg, here's middle, and it pulls the leg up away. It's connected to this long tendon that goes all the way down to the tibia, known as your iliotibial band. For short, it's called your IT band, but that stands for iliotibial band. Why? It originates on the ilium and it inserts on the tibia. So this one is named for its origin and its insertion. Over here in pink, we're going to see the IT band on the other side, and it looks, you can see it in much more detail. It's a lot larger over there. All right, it's a little bit difficult to match up the colors, but this is a dark blue here, and this purple is the purple that I have here. And this is that one muscle that has kind of a unique function, and it is called the sartorius. S-A-R-T-O-R-I-U-S, the sartorius. And it causes the leg to, it lets you sit cross-legged. Because of that, it's sometimes called the tailor's muscle. Old-time tailors, when they would hem pants, would sit on the floor and mark the pants, and you would cross your legs. And so this, because it elevates or pulls up on that inner tibia, it can pull up in a cross motion. So that really doesn't belong to any one of the four groups that we have down here. All right, let's do, so let's start off with, we've got that one abductor out of the way. Let's look at the quadriceps. There are, as we said, obviously four. So this is number one, quad one, Q1, Q2, Q3. Well, where's Q4? Q4 is found underneath Q2. We can't see it on this page. We're going to write the name of it, but unless we can pull off this big orange muscle, we can't see Q4. So let's do the big orange one first. So in orange, the topmost quad, so this is Q2. I probably should have made that Q1, huh? Too late now. This is the rectus femoris. Again, all of the quads are flexors. They're all about flexion. And this one lies on top of the other three. And we've learned before, rectus means upright and femoral is leg, so it keeps the leg upright. Q1 in blue is called the vastus. This is quad one, lateralis. And in pink here, Q3 is the vastus medialis. Why? Because this is medial and this is lateral. And if we could remove by the way, this tendon comes down here, and the patella is right in the middle of it. That is our patellar tendon. Remember, the patella is a sesamoid bone, and so it is found inside of a tendon right here. Q4 that's hidden. Can you guess the name? If this is the vastus lateralis and this is the vastus medialis, well, Q4 is in between. So this is the vastus intermedius. Vastus intermedius. And again, this is the some of the drawbacks to doing our muscles this way is we really can't see everything. So we're not going to see on this side, we're not going to see the hamstrings at all because that's posterior, but we do see adductors. So the last two that we have are adductors. And in fact, these green ones, we have number one and number two. We're just going to label these as adductors. This is the adductor longus, and the starts with the P. I can't remember it off the top of my head. We're not going to do names for these individual ones. I just want you to know that these will adduct. But this red one that's present on both this side and this side has a unique name. It's called the gracilis. and it's an adductor. And the reason I want you to know that one is that it's really, really on the cats. When we get into the cats, the gracilis is very, very recognizable. So I wanted you to know the name of that. But again, you see that same muscle here and here. It's the same thing. So we saw our quads, we saw our adductors. On the posterior, we're going to see the hamstrings and a better view of our abductors. But that gets us started with leg muscles. So from here, let's go to the posterior view. All for now.